So we're seeing a lot of the protests that's happening here in the United States, speaking against, racism, white supremacy, trying to change the culture of policing in America. But even though all that's going on, we still have an issue and a problem with our so-called Democrat friends. Now, we know the Republicans do not agree on a lot of things that we're trying to change. And some of our Democrat friends, agree with a lot of things that we're talking about. But there's one major issue that they do not support at all, that they are lockstep with the Republicans on. And it's the subject of reparations. Now, why is it they're talking about defunding the police? Why are they talking about George Floyd and a whole lot of other things they're talking about, but they do not support reparations? Now, they had a poll had come out, another one, about how white and black Democrats view policies aimed at addressing racial wealth and income inequality. So, black Democrats and white Democrats agree with the wealth tax. Me personally, I don't agree with a wealth tax. Like, why are you going to tax someone because they have, done well for themselves? Because you know what? You could be the next person that become wealthy. You don't know. You may have an idea that makes you a billionaire. Who knows, right? Do you think that you should be penalized for becoming a billionaire? I don't think so. I personally don't think so at all. So I disagree with the wealth tax for sure. Should they pay their fair share of taxes? Yes, because those people hide money very well and they write things off and so they get even big tax returns back. But it's all a finesse, the way the accountants do things. So that should end. But no, I don't agree with the wealth tax. But when it comes to reparations, because we're just looking at this thing here, that they took from 5 different pollsters, the AP, the Gallup, ABC, Nationscape, and Vice. All of them took a poll. And in this poll, it says 28% of white Democrats agree that black people should get reparations with the AP, 32%, 36, 33, and 34. At the highest, 34% agree that we should get reparations. Okay. Now, why is it that your white Democrat friends do not agree with reparations? Why? See, you have to understand something. Let me explain what you're seeing right now in America. They don't want anything related to black people to cost them anything. And what I mean by that is this. You're looking at the symbolism that's happening right now. You're seeing all the big Black Lives Matter painted on the streets. Now, last time I checked, no black person asked you to paint Black Lives Matter in Washington, D.C. We wasn't like asking for Black Lives Matter Plaza in Washington, D.C. Okay, it's great. It's up there. Fine. I know it pisses off a lot of racists, so I think that part is funny, but it's not what we were asking for. We didn't ask that Black Lives Matter be painted in front of Trump Tower in New York. We didn't ask for that. We didn't ask for any of that. We didn't say, okay, we want all the Confederate statues down. We didn't say that either. I'm just talking about like saying that this is what we need. I'm not saying that it hasn't been a call for it, but all of that pulling down Confederate statues doesn't cost America a dime. Putting Black Lives Matter on the street doesn't cost America really much. Just paint, and they can get it up at any time they want to, right? It may cost a little money, but it's not reparations money, right? Changing the street doesn't cost anything. Jefferson Davis and all different people you want to pull down doesn't cost anything, because black people didn't pay to put them statues up. Taking the Confederate flag off of the Mississippi state flag, we didn't put it there. So you remove it. Okay, you remove it. Cool. But did that really give black people anything? See, they're willing to give us symbolism, but not substance. Let me tell you something. If you lay before us as black people and say, listen, you have a choice, symbolism and no substance, or we keep our Confederate flags, we keep, the statues, we keep all of the racist people that, we honor in this country, but you can have reparations. I can guarantee you 10 times out of 10, black people are going to say, keep your Confederates, give us our reparations. Because I don't live in a house with no Confederate statues. I can care less what you name things, but I do care about reparations. And that's what we have to get down to. See, when it comes to me and anybody that deal with me, I'm about the bottom line and where the rubber meets the road. Like, don't just talk to me and say certain things to me. Oh, yes, I'm on your side and I'm against racism. Okay. Well, what is it costing you? Are you really against it? You say you're against it. Some of these corporations, you put up there that you support Black Lives Matter, but how much money have you given directly to black owned businesses or have given grants to black owned businesses? Now you say, hey, I'll give money to Black Lives Matter, the organization. Do you realize the Black Lives Matter, the organization, not the movement? They finessing that money. I haven't met not a single black person, black owned business, black people, period, that say, man, Black Lives Matter came through with about $10,000. Black Lives Matter showed up with $50,000. Man, Black Lives Matter bailing people out of jail. I don't hear any of that, but all these millions of dollars going to Black Lives Matter. If you get all these millions of dollars, then why aren't they being held accountable for what that money? If you talking about black lives, well, let's see where the money going. Why isn't it going to black people? You understand? So if you're serious about black lives, like say a company like Netflix, then we should see you partnering with a lot of black directors and things like that to put on Netflix that we know about. PayPal, I can say PayPal is serious because PayPal is giving grants to black owned businesses. They put their money where their mouth is. They put what, $100 million into this? So I can say PayPal is serious about it. They're putting their money where their mouth is. And we're like all these different companies. You say you support, black lives. Well, you should be partnering, running ads and everything with all the black media you can. Because if you're not putting money into these black businesses, then are you really supportive? But when it comes to reparations, they don't. You see the Democrats and Republicans agree that we don't want black people to have reparations. But why? It's not a handout. It is a debt that's owed. And it's to make things right. You will never have America right until reparations is paid. You understand that? And not only in America, but the rest of the world that slavery happened. You got to pay reparations to make it right. Just as much as Germany had paid reparations to the Jewish people for the Holocaust. They could not make it right until they paid reparations to the Jewish people. So how is it you think that you cannot pay reparations to make things right? That's why you always going to have the issues and problems that we have, because you have not made things right. You have not healed anything because you still have an open wound, and that open wound stays open daily. You say you want America to heal of that. You want America to get past that. Well, you got to make sure the same thing you did with the Native Americans, and you continue to do with the Native Americans. You give them reparation payments in the billions every year. You're still paying reparations to the Native American tribes. But yet you will not give a dime to black Americans, the people that was enslaved in this land, the people that built America. You don't want us to have a dime. You understand? You don't want to have anything. You don't appropriate funds on both sides of political side. You don't want us to have it. Now, people say, where the money gonna come from? The same place that Corona money came from, the Federal Reserve. They print money. They can deposit money in your account like this from the Federal Reserve Bank. That's who can pay the reparations. It won't come out your bank account. America is not going to say, oh, we got to pay reparations, so they're going to just deduct from your personal bank account. They're not going to do that, just like they didn't deduct from your bank account to pay them Corona payments. They're not deducting from your bank account now to give a lot of people that extra $600 a week you're getting, that you're about to cut off. But they're not deducting your bank account now. Just like the same thing with health care. They don't want people to have that either. I think that's the most silly thing that you could say is, well, how are we going to pay for health care? The same way we're paying for Corona. You know what I'm saying? No, you got to make things right. Until you make things right, America will never heal. America will always be wounded. America will always have the problem that they have, period. Now, you don't have to make it right, but all things come to an end. Trust me on that. One way or another, it's going to come to an end. And if you see what's going on in America, America is not the same anymore. America don't even have the same standing in the world right now. Do you see that people don't even want Americans in their country? I've never thought I would see the day that people don't want Americans in their country. That America's standing in just 4 years that went to crap. But, you are who you are elect, right? And this is, the great genius that you have in the White House, Donald Trump, that the majority of a lot of people in certain community voted for. Black community didn't vote for the guy. But you cannot give reparations. Your Democrat party can say, no, we're not for reparations. That's too divisive. Or we don't want black people to have it. And this is why you're losing more and more black support daily. Because we're serious about that. The ultimate way for you to heal a lot of things is pay reparations. That's it. But we always going to remember that. Now, some people say, well, are you going to vote based on one issue because you may not get what you want because it's one issue? Yeah, pretty much. But Joe Biden just recently said that he don't want to end qualified immunity. So basically, he don't want the police held accountable. That's not going to be good. You think people going to run out and vote for him when he says that basically the police can continue doing what they're doing to black people? No. Like I said, you're going to have another 4 years of Donald Trump. And I'm telling you, if you have another 4 years of Donald Trump, I'm definitely going to be interested to see where America's at in 4 years because, man, this has been a wild roller coaster with him. Joe Biden want to toe the line too? Okay, go ahead. Toe the line. And then when you lose, like Hillary lost, then you're going to be sad once again. They say, we don't know what happened. You got to pay reparations. It's just that simple. And like I said, you don't have to, but the day come that you will. You will one day. Matter of fact, you're going to feel like we need to do this just to end a lot of things. But if you're talking about defunding the police, you can defund them, but you don't want to pay reparations. No, that got to change. That has to change. And black people never let off the conversation of reparations. All this, being awakened, all this, uprising, make sure the conversation is reparations. It has to be reparations. Not just defunding the police. It has to be reparations. Yes, ending qualified immunity. That's important. But reparations has to be paid.